Smart 24, driving business.
Hello there, good evening. Thank you for joining us. It's 9 o'clock and you're right in time for Business Today. I'm Rana Habwe together with Winnie Wiyinza Nakawuchi for the sign language interpretation. Before we head right into it, here's what topped our focus. In Business Today, Uganda Airlines closes in on flights to the UK while Abuja and Lagos are already secured. And Kabale residents seek termination of the multiplex contract. Deputy IGG Achan issues a 2-month ultimatum to complete works. And President Museveni seeks Japan's investment in lithium battery industry as Japan pledges support for Ugandan startups and eyes bilateral relations. Once again, thank you for joining us. Now, beginning with the Uganda Airlines, as it's in its final stages to secure the flights connected to the United Kingdom after long-time dragging preparations and negotiations with the UK Civil Aviation Authority. The development follows secure deals for flights to Lagos and Abuja. For the Nigerian route, Olivia Lumonya, the Deputy Director, Uganda Civil Aviation, confirms approval from the Nigerian government as inspection of the Uganda Airlines was undertaken today and success points to the flights effective next week. Pedson Mumbele reports.
This is a great show for you.
In their mandate to formulate new routes, the Uganda Airlines has submitted its applications to the United Kingdom Civil Aviation Authority to start flights to the UK. That means the negotiations between the two civil aviation authorities are on course. According to the Deputy Director, Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, Olivia Lumonya, there are other procedures that must be taken to reach at that level. In the same spirit, the Nigerian government has also approved direct flights from Uganda to Nigeria, that's Lagos and Abuja. The meaning of all these deals and negotiations is about stimulating trade, investment and economic activity in different other countries.
And confirm that we are on top of that, and maybe hopefully within a few months to come, we should be able to complete our negotiations with the UK to allow Uganda Airlines to fly into the UK. So much of the percentage work has been done. When it comes to Abuja, Nigeria, we were in Nigeria last week. We went in and were able to negotiate with the Nigerian government to allow Uganda Airlines to start flying into Lagos and Abuja. And I must say that in the interim, that approval has been given by the Nigerian government. What is remaining, which is also critical, is that the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority will be arriving here today. They will conduct an inspection on the aircraft and other bits of Uganda Airlines.
According to sources, the British Civil Aviation Authority told Uganda Airlines that vetting Entebbe International Airport would take a long time. However, sources familiar with the operations at Entebbe International Airport insist that the airport is good enough since other international airlines such as the Dutch Airlines and Brussels Airlines have departures to Europe from there. Fred Bamwesije, the Director General Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, says that Uganda Airlines is recording a steady fast growth as upgrade and expansion rate is at 85%.
We have a project for upgrade and expansion of Entebbe International Airport, and it is moving smoothly, and generally at the progress is at 85% level of completion. That is overall.
The Entebbe International Airport recorded a total of 842,429 international passengers, 413,223 arrivals, and 429,206 departures in the first half of this year. However, there have been complaints about rampant flight cancellations, of which Lomonya says that such is about safety and security.
What we can let you know is that we know what it feels. Nobody would want to be in that situation. But sometimes, as explained before, the aviation industry looks a lot on safety and security of the passengers and travelers. So sometimes the airlines face incidents or situations that are of an emergency nature. And when they are of emergency nature, they will take decisions either to cancel a flight, postpone a flight, or delay a flight. So that is one part. Which
we are grappling with many projects, all aimed at ensuring one, safety, security, but also the comfort of airport and aviation users to make sure that we move into the next century when we are actually at the same standard with the global community in aviation.
Data from the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority indicate that the International Aviation Organization estimated full recovery of Africa's aviation industry from the advance of COVID-19 pandemic to take place in 2024. Going by the half-of-year performance, Uganda is likely to attain this by the end of this year. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
Thank you, Pedson Mumbele, for that report. Now, President Museveni has requested Japan to venture and utilize local lithium resources for battery manufacturing. While interacting with the Japanese Foreign Affairs, Museveni called upon capable companies to venture in the lithium battery industry as Uganda explores the use of electric cars. His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has urged Japanese manufacturing companies to set up more industries in Uganda, aiming to move away from the practice of importing raw materials but instead add value on products like coffee.
Which I gave to Mr. Abe. Exporting raw materials is one of them, but there are others. Infrastructure. There were also mistakes by the Africans themselves. Which was understandable. So, but if we are dealing with the G7, I think you have done some good work in Southeast Asia. Now come here.
Yeah, they're graduating already.
And then also share this with the others. Yeah. Because what is true of coffee
is for everything.
Is for all other things.
Yeah.
Minerals,
materials, everything.
President Museveni also took the mantle to seek companies for car battery production due to Uganda's abundant lithium and increasing electric vehicle usage showcased at Kira Motors. The Japanese Foreign Affairs Minister expressed desire to strengthen bilateral relations with Uganda in line with the G7 presidency emphasis on direct communication with Africa. They pledged ongoing support for Uganda's health sector and showed growing interest in Ugandan startups, committing to help them flourish. Moreover, Japanese companies promised to explore the possibility of manufacturing car batteries in response to President Museveni's request.
Not the people outside, but people in Uganda should gain more income by doing all those things. For that, we are trying our utmost effort. And also on the top of that, if you are doing so many efforts, also at the same time you need to have some healthy society. So if you get ill, you cannot work very hard. So we decided to conduct a project for improvement of medical equipment at regional referral hospitals. So we will continue this kind of cooperation for universal health coverage so that people doesn't have to worry about those days in the ill, they cannot work, but they can come back from the ill to working place for not worrying too much about that. And also now the Japanese companies are becoming more interested in Uganda's companies, especially the startups. So
now let's shift our focus to Kabale and in this regard look at the stalled works. Recently, Deputy IGG Patricia Achan Okeria set foot in Western Uganda investigating stalled roadworks under the Uganda Support to Municipal Infrastructure Development. Kabale, one of the subject areas, is under scrutiny as a 2-month ultimatum has been set for Multiplex Construction Company to complete works. Take a look.
Unfinished roadworks contracted to Multiplex in Kabale municipality have pushed authorities to suggest termination of contract and seek compensation for damages in attempt to find a capable contractor to expedite the project. Despite subsequent intervention by the Deputy IGG issuing a 2-month ultimatum so that the troubled company completes its work, anger still runs among authority members.
Intervention by IGG is not only stressing us, also we don't be disappointed and putting stressing. It beats its core mandate of promoting just utilization of public resources. This intervention is time-consuming to tell it to keep an incompetent and a serious contractor on site.
As you have seen those machines and people work, you can just imagine the contract ended. We extended contract 3 times, but they are still on village. Actually, you have found them clearing the bush clearing. Because when you finish bush clearing, it's when you go to drainage and you start work. Madam IG, we shall seek your guidance. How shall go about this contract?
Kabale RDC Godfrey Nyakahuma rebuked Multiplex over double standards, showcasing machinery only when high-profile visitors arrive to inspect the site, and in reality, misleading the public about the progress.
I'd like to call upon the contractor to avoid engaging themselves in the acts of provocation. The people of Kabale are not stupid. The people of Kabale, Madam IGG, are not blind. When you see people coming like IGG, like the ministry coming for inspection, like anybody, then you bring back your machines. And as they go back, you also take them back. Don't think these people are blind.
Multiplex Director Moses Bossa has been pushed to set time frame to resumption and completion of works. Initially, he requested a 3-month extension that was ultimately denied, prompting the Deputy IGG Dr. Patricia Chan to issue a strict 2-month deadline for completion.
Given the support, we request to finish the works in 3 months.
3 months is too long.
Now we have put timelines. 2 months. The contractor must commit to deliver that road. For me, I'll come here every month. At the end of August, I will also come back here. Because my coming will be coming to check I have directed my director projects here to assign someone from the Inspectorate of Government to give us weekly updates on progress, to be on ground to check what exactly is happening on ground.
Mary Mugala, a senior inspectorate officer from the IGG's office, urged all involved parties to resolve the standoff and ensure uninterrupted progress to the roadworks free from illegal disputes.
The best alternative is to get back to the round table and see within this short period, because now time, as I've said, this contract has been overtaken by time, and time is our problem. You are not willing to give him time, so the contract cannot be performed. But you have to give him the time if we are to achieve, to ensure that the contract is performed.
Dr. Chan acknowledges the fact that her office had identified various issues leading to the delay and asserted shared responsibility among involved parties.
I want to ensure that Kabale will not lose funds if we don't agree here. Let us commit to agree. And as I said earlier, our investigations revealed the issue of fault on both sides. Today is not a day for us to begin blaming one another. It's a day for us to come up with solutions. I want to assure you that you both have the full support of the Inspectorate of Government, and even myself. In the beginning, you had me telling your mayor, please expand this. This kind of language should not be in your report or in your welcome remarks.
With stakes high and public frustration mounting over the stalled road projects, Multiplex is shielding extra pressure beyond Kabale municipality with similar projects in Ntungamo and Bara City. Nobat Ndiamhachi, Brenya Katsime, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
We now look at coffee, and as a strategic commodity, Uganda is set to host a coffee-producing countries summit of the 25 states summit that is expected to support transformation of the African coffee sector through value addition. According to Frank Tumwebaze, the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, a common understanding to position coffee as a strategic commodity in line with Africa's Union Agenda 2023 is still a possibility. Take a look.
Uganda will be home to the top 25 African coffee-producing countries summit slated for the next month. The convention is informed by the challenges faced by the African coffee-producing countries as they attempt to enforce productivity, value addition, and exploit the African Continental Free Trade Area, among other trading blocs. According to Uganda Coffee Development Authority's latest report, coffee exports increased by about 6.3% to 478,646 bags in February 2023 as the sector maintains address to challenges.
The goal of the G25 African Coffee Summit is to address the challenges faced by the African coffee producing countries, promote value addition and domestic consumption in conjunction with educating people on coffee and its benefits and its real value if we added value to it and stopped trading just raw materials.
Africa produces about 12% of the world's coffee, and this is the continent's most important agricultural cash crop. But while Uganda is among the leading coffee exporters in Africa, having exported over 5.76 million bags, worth $846 million in financial year 2021-2022, much of which is unprocessed. The conversion is expected to set pace for market strengthening and productivity.
Our market intelligence have looked at the prices on New York futures and also on London market. London is the market for Robusta and New York is the market for Arabica. And these prices are transmitted to the farmers but also to the exporters, those who buy coffee from the farmers. And I can assure you farmers get in Uganda 70 to 80% of the export price. So farmers are getting a lot of money from coffee, and that's why we are promoting this crop. And that's why many farmers want to plant coffee.
We are cognizant of the fact that Africa produces 12% of the world's coffee, and it is the continent's most important agricultural crop. But while Uganda is currently the leading coffee export in Africa and the second largest coffee producer in Africa, having exported over 5.76 million bags of 68 kg worth USD $846 million in the last financial year, much of this is unprocessed in the form of green beans.
The 25 coffee-growing nations in Africa are Angola, Benin, Burundi, Cameroon and the Democratic Republic of Congo, among others. Coffee exports in the financial year 2021 and 2022 totaled to 6.26 million bags, worth $862.28 million US, compared to 6.08 million bags, worth $559.16 million US the previous fiscal year. This story was compiled by Nakano Viola and Pedson Mumbere for Smart 24 TV Business Today.
Now back to the Kigezi region and looking at what's happening in Rubanda district. Residents and leaders in Rubanda district are furious about the Uganda National Roads Authority for abandoning a road that caved in on 4th May. Irrespective of signs of commencing the renovation, progress has stalled as Hamura section still remains unworked. The road is a clear link to Kisoro, Kabare, Rwanda and DRC has had authorities question the roads authority over the delays.
UNRWA's lack of action to repair a road section in Rwanda that caved in 3 months ago has sparked unrest among users. At the onset, 3 weeks time frame was set to complete the repairs as signs of works showed. To their disappointment, just before a week elapsed, the equipment and workers disappeared from the site without explanation.
They came and started operations in a week's time, and then after, they stopped working. We don't know what exactly transpired.
The road, man, you can't use the road properly. Now look at the big cars. There are the cars which can pass. When you see them, you have to walk away. Man, big trailers, what? These big cars. Man, big cars. You have to walk away. Man, you have to first leave the road for the big cars to pass. But for us, the local person who is walking, you cannot pass. Man, those guys don't care about us. They only care about these guys. These people who are driving. For us who are not driving, they don't care. They only care about the guys who are driving. If you're not driving, they don't care about you.
Despite hope that UNRWA may immediately respond and restore safe passage, the remaining part of the road has been despised and termed as a challenge to safety and effective travel.
We are most worried about our children who use this road to go to school and also us finding it hard to go to our workplaces. We are so frustrated because this is the route we use to trade with people in the DRC, Rwanda, Kisoro and Kanungu among others. If worse happens, we shall be so poor.
Rwanda District Chairperson Stefan Ampeure expresses frustration towards the Roads Authority, citing UNRWA's inability to complete the work within the presumed 3 weeks as proof of incompetence, lack of cooperation, and a reckless approach, yet the expected rains pose a significant risk of further damage to the already vulnerable road.
The other part which they were repairing, they go through the valley and climb, and that's where the animals are using, because the road is so narrow that when the truck comes, it finishes all the road that is remaining. It means that these cows cannot cross, children cannot pass. You have no alternative. The only alternative you have is to wait for the truck to first pass, then you close, then you pass. It means we are going to have accidents here. But one fundamental thing that is likely to happen, and this one I'm telling you, when the rains of September come, this road is going to be cut off completely. We are waiting for them to see what they're going to do. But like I've said, there is a lot of disturbance, a lot of business destruction, there is a lot of fatigue that has developed among our people.
UNRWA spokesperson Alan Tsempewa has retorted to the crisis, emphasizing that the delay follows breakdown of equipment, reassuring consideration of repairs to the section as procurement of necessary material is being undertaken.
What is happening though, beyond record, works are ongoing. We have not abandoned site. We have equipment on site as well. There is a process for procuring of additional and more suitable materials, which is taking a bit longer, but it's ongoing. Traffic flow is normal, but being guided around that section to ensure that vehicles are able to cross through that section safe. I've been informed that we are doing more procurement for additional materials as well for site, and this is where we have a bit of lag. That's why you may notice that works may not be fast as they should be, because this is also taking a bit longer.
The district RDC further points out the instance of completion as it has already inhibited key progress, serving as link to Kisoro, Kabale, Kanungu, DRC and Rwanda.
I want to appeal to the people, to UNRA, Uganda National Roads Authority. Recently they came here, they were talking about Katuna, Hisesero Road. To me, before they can get on Katuna, Hisesero Road, they should first put this road right. Because we maintain what is there first. They came doing the surveys. To me, I'm thinking that the first thing is they should reinstate this road. The 2 months, the next month, actually have August and September. When the rains come, I'm very suspicious we shall not be going to work. Neither will people of Kabale be going to Solo, nor will the trucks be going to Congo.
This road at Wara Village, Hamura Town Council, Rwanda District cracked and caved in on 4th May 2023. Norbert Ndiamhachi, Bronya Katsime, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
While Uganda Airlines maintains anticipation for flights to UK and the secure deals to Lagos and Abuja, the Parliamentary Committee on Physical Infrastructure has issued a directive to Uganda Civil Aviation Authority to undertake repairs and improvements at the Entebbe International Airport. The decision follows reports that the airport is still in a dire state as some infrastructure is characterized by cracks and bee infestation, raising concern about its functionality and efficiency. Although Entebbe International Airport is a crucial gateway for Uganda, its current conditions have attracted concern among travelers and respective stakeholders. The Parliamentary Committee on Physical Infrastructure has thus directed Civil Aviation Authority to fix worn-out facilities and enhance the airport's appeal for tourism and trade.
Take us through. Because every time we land in Entebbe, we get some, especially when you have been out for a week, it occurs to you that all airports in the world are like those you are really transiting through. What happens with our airport on the basics, cleanness and the rest? What happens? Complicated for starters. To have the clean paint, repress chairs in VIP, because you have the oldest that are visited, the carpet, the generator to be automatic. I mean, the smallest. I don't want to complicate life for you now. Yes. Do you have the budget or you do not have the budget? Because we need to know where we start.
Yes, Chair. Mukono South MP Fred Kayondo expresses concerns about the newly constructed cargo area, citing poor conditions, cracks and bee infestation highlight improper work.
Poor quality of the work. You were seeing honeycombs on the floodlights. Stand concrete. When you see any honeycomb and a concrete, that is poor workmanship. Chair, that is page 36. Observation. New cargo building, operator 1, import area. Visible cracks running perpendicular to the slab span on 6 slab panels located at honeycombs. When you see a honeycomb on any building as at Entebbe International Airport,
Uganda Civil Aviation Authority boss Fred Bamwesige, however, counteracts with the raised concerns to the fact that Ugandans prefer comparisons to developed nations like Belgium and expect the same standards to apply locally. He highlights that the said airport was built in 1969 with a 250,000 passenger capacity as opposed to the current 2 million per day.
We try as much as possible put it a standard until it is replaced. So same with that building you see, that building of Entebbe. The systems, the plumbing systems are those of 1969-72. But we keep as much as improving on them until we really shift from them. For instance, we could not modernize the cargo center that we have in Entebbe because we saw its structures, its technology could not really be modified. That's why we shifted to a new area altogether. In fact, we have pulled part of it down to form a new terminal building because we could not possibly renovate it any further. That's how we deal with these old buildings. So, but when you come from out of the country, you may be faced with a very brand new airport from, say, Belgium. This is the new airport I know of, which was constructed from scratch with state-of-the-art technologies. Obviously, these won't look like Entebbe. There is no way you can. So, until
maybe we compare like for like.
Yes.
Rwanda, Tanzania. Because now
the Rwanda, there is nothing old to see now. Everything is looking new. Is new.
Oh.
Tanzania has shifted its airport from the old, has made it to a new one. So there is no old anymore. And they have land. They have land, of course. So I am not really covering anything that may. We try as much as possible to put it a standard until it is replaced. So same with that building you see, that building of Entebbe. The systems, the plumbing systems are those of 1969-72. But we keep as much as improving on them until we really shift from them. For instance, we could not modernize the cargo center that we have in Entebbe because we saw its structures, its technology could not really be modified. That's why we shifted to a new area altogether. In fact, we have pulled part of it down to form a new terminal building because we could not possibly renovate it any further. That's how we deal with these old buildings. So, but when you come from out of the country, you may be faced with a very brand new airport from, say, Belgium. This is the new airport I know of, which was constructed from scratch with state-of-the-art technologies. Obviously, these won't look like Entebbe. There is no way you can. So, until
maybe we compare like for like.
Yes.
Rwanda, Tanzania. Because now
the Rwanda, there is nothing old to see now. Everything is looking new. Is new.
Oh.
Tanzania has shifted its airport from the old, has made it to a new one. So there is no old anymore. And they have land. They have land, of course. So I am not really covering anything that may not be going.
The current report on the facility directly undermines efforts for trade and travel as extra routes are being secured across Africa and beyond. Now, away from that, moving on to Kasese, and in this regard, looking at the PDM rift, 2 sub-counties in Kasese district have stormed district headquarters, demanding for the allocated parish development model funds to furnish affiliate projects. The decision follows non-remittance of the funds to the beneficiaries, despite meeting requirements that include registration of respective groups. Catherine Namgera has more.
Last month, Kasese District had the PDM program launched by the State Minister for ICT, Honorable Balu Kabyanga. Today, with just 2 sub-counties, Isango and Nyakatonze, yet to receive the revolving fund, residents have stormed the sub-county offices, demanding for explanation as to why they are not benefiting from the fund despite fulfilling prerequisites such as registering their groups.
Sasa nichokorora ngu tumaligize ibintu byona tuhandikisize cyonka hati nindora itwena hati tuli hatuikaliye tu.
The concern lies in the fact that we have completed registration, but we haven't received any money yet, while we hear that others have already received their money.
Residents confirm being already financially constrained, and the little money they would use to support development projects is instead being wasted on expenses to secure PDM funds, as efforts for resolution is unyielding.
Sente za PDM government yazituweereza ate ne bagana kuzituwa. Tebatuwa kodi twagala Prime Minister tubuulire ku lwaki ensonga.
Government sent us PDM money, but they have denied access to it. We demand that the Prime Minister provides an explanation for this refusal, otherwise there will be unrest protests.
Kintu muyinza kukibuuza CDO ne chairman ne committee ya sub county.
We should seek clarification from the CDO and chairman why people are not receiving money even though it's available.
Kasese LC5 Vice Chairman Ham Anathera confirmed that the two contested sub-counties are under consideration with the districts already progressing on the cause.
Each parish inao million 10 almost. So we have enough money for every beneficiary, but it is a process that we cannot give out money. There is no direction that we can give out money mo process. So what we want to do is to make sure as government in the whole of the whole district is Nyakatons that is lagging behind because of the code.
Kasese District Chief Administrative Officer Erias Biamungu admits challenges in the program and reassures dedication to resolve, setting a 2 weeks ultimatum.
Tezija kufurumira ku pressure yo kugamba tugenda kugalawo ama office nafe tugezaako.
This money will not be released honestly on pressure. We are committed to keep our offices open while actively working to expedite the process. Our goal is to ensure that everyone receives this money within 2 weeks.
With renewed efforts for financial inclusion in the current financial year, the Troubled program still manifests dedicated efforts to realize the intended goals. Kate Namgera, Bronya Katsime, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.
All right, that report now leads us to the end of Business Today. But before I sign out, here's what topped our focus. In Business Today, Uganda Airlines closes in on flights to the UK, while Abuja and Lagos are already secured. And Kabale residents seek termination of the multiplex contract. Deputy IGG Achan issues a 2-month ultimatum to complete works. And President Museveni seeks Japan's investment in lithium battery industry as Japan pledges support for Ugandan startups and eyes bilateral relations. There you have it. That's pretty much it what we had for you today on Business Today. Thank you for being such a kind audience. And always tune in next time. And if you missed any of these stories, you could watch on our YouTube channel at Smart 24 TV Live and follow on our social media platforms at Smart 24 TV on Twitter, Facebook, and the like. As always, I'm Rana Habwe with Winnie Wins and Naka for the sign language. You have a lovely evening.
Smart 24.